I'm visiting here in Goma, and I've just spoken to some of the IDPs. They tell you people who've been fleeing, families who've been fleeing from the conflict and the fighting and insecurity. And what I've seen is really a horrible situation. We have seen over 250,000 people, women, girls, boys, men, civilians, displaced time and time again. But these 250,000 people were displaced just recently in the last 1 month. This is an unprecedented number of people to be displaced in 30 days. And they've all fled here from the fighting. And we know the DRC, we know Congo. There's been a protracted crisis of fighting and violence and displacement for almost 30 years now. And it's unbearable what these people have had to face. I cannot imagine it. The women spoke of enormous risks and fear of sexual violence, of people being killed when they go to their homes by armed actors. So all those armed actors out there, they're responsible for this. Because civilians should not be affected by armed conflict. And there must be a respect for international humanitarian law. They cannot do this to their own people. They have to change the way they respect and provide support and protection for people here. What we see here is these massive displacements, as I mentioned. Many of these people are really vulnerable because it's not the first time they've been displaced, it's not the second time, it's multiple times over the years. So children lose out on education, health is a big situation, they don't get proper nutrition, and as a result they're very vulnerable. We just met a poor old woman here who was begging for food because she's just arrived here and she has not received any sort of assistance yet, and she's all by herself. So these are the unseen people, those furthest left behind that we are here to support. I also spoke to a lot of the humanitarian organizations here who, together with the government of Congo, are doing an amazing job. And they really are, in all aspects, doing the best that they can do. But this enormous influx of people is putting challenges beyond what we can meet right now. The donors have been incredibly generous to us as well, but we do need more resources. At the end of the day, though, humanitarian assistance has been provided here on a regular basis for almost 30 years, as I mentioned, and there has to be a solution to the suffering, to the displacement, to the loss of livelihood, to the loss of education. And that really falls on the armed actors to bring peace to this region so that people can have a normal life and can go about their duties. The risks here are enormous. I just came here from a Médecins Sans Frontières cholera institution, health center. And the cholera is expanding here. The World Health Organization also confirmed this. Cholera is exploding here. Why? Because the enormous influx of people have meant that they don't have adequate access to sanitation, latrines, water, and disease as a result is the only obvious consequence of this. So we have to find a way to support them, but at the same time they also need to go back to their lives, to be able to go back to their lives and live a normal, peaceful life in security and dignity where they support themselves.